All right, my friends, I get solicited a lot for various life insurance companies to run quotes and whatnot. So this is one called PolicyGenius.com. And I figured I'd share it with you. I have obviously I worked for USAA for many years. I had a secondary life insurance policy, a survivor life insurance policy with TIA Credit for a few years. I got mine with HealthIQ right now because they did a little bit of preference for weightlifters, which is nice. If you're a runner or a biker or a weightlifter, they underwrite specific for you, and I was pretty comfortable with what I got from them. But hey, I'm always looking, always looking. Life insurance is a commodity anymore, for sure. But you can't just look at the price versus each company. I mean, you got to make sure that there's things in there that can mean something, i.e., not just a term for it, not just the price, the premium, but you also got to look and convert it later on. I was watching one guy's video the other day that was, man, I tell you, I learned a lot from that guy too, and I was quite pleased. I'll find the link and I'll put it in the show notes. But let's dive into this because it's more than just looking at price. This company pays that company pays this, so I'm going with that company. No. You got to look more into that. But for right now, let's look at PolicyGenius.com and see how they underwrite for life insurance. They got a lot of stuff on here, man. I mean, look at this. PolicyGenius.com. You go auto insurance, disability, renters, pet, health, homeowners, auto. Let's see what they got here. Health, homeowners, auto, disability, long-term care, vision, prescription discount. I'm sure these guys are brokered. What that means is they take various companies pay to be on their platform here. AIG, Protective. I don't know, maybe Principal will see, but I mean, all these various life insurance companies and auto insurance companies will pay to be on here. And so basically, they're just consolidating as a resource, a one-stop shop. The thing I get concerned about these kind of places is kind of like a lending tree. You put your phone number in there, and then you get tons of solicitations. I don't want anything to do with that, so I've never used lending tree before. I don't want to get a bunch of solicitations. So let's see if this what this does here. I literally don't know, so we're gonna find out. All right, so I'm going to again. PolicyGenius.com. I'm going to start with life, and then we might go into we'll go into long-term care. It'd be kind of interesting. We found insurance in Georgia. I did already put my zip code in there. So basically, what they said is, as you can see right here, I already put my date of birth, which is not my date of birth. My zip code is 3004. I do have a significant other, yes, and that's what I put in so far. So now let's go to next. Pretty simple. I haven't had to give up any private information. I set a 59190, which would probably make me a little bit on the heavy side for some of these basic insurers. So we'll see. They'll say, I think I'm bordering on obese, actually. Obese. And we'll say I don't smoke, don't do any of that stuff. Let's see maybe we'll come back here and kind of mess around with some of these numbers here. But anyway, I'm saying right now, none of these apply to me. Look, at the end of the day, they're just giving you a basic quote. I mean, so you can put whatever you want here. If the facts are, if you have asthma or alcohol abuse or heart attack or high cholesterol, just because you don't put it in here doesn't mean anything. I mean, just going to give you a basic quote. That's for sure. Do I have any parents or siblings who contracted cardiovascular disease before they're 70? Nope. Have I ever had my license suspended or revoked or had more than one ticket or accident in the past 5 years? Negatory. So we're going to hit nothing there. And I think it wants me to give my email so they can keep me in their nose here. Okay, I guess not. Sweet. All right, cool. So that's kind of cool. I like that. All right, so let's see. Got it here. All right, so let's see what we got for here. Move this guy over a tad. Oh, I start off and said, let me do it my own, or I want expert help. And it looks like the expert help people are up here. So you can see if you want to talk to somebody, you can. So when I was doing HealthIQ, I could do it all myself, but they still had to give you like an underwriting coordinator. He was okay. It was okay. It was better than actually it was at USAA, because USAA has really dropped the ball for a long, long time. But the guy had to do like the form like 2 or 3 times, and it kept getting lost in their errors. So that bothered me. But I was pretty pleased with HealthIQ in their underwriting, and that's what their specialty was underwriting life insurance. PolicyGenius, again, they're just taking the numbers, they're shopping it with these various companies. Here's AIG, for instance, and they're saying, hey, we'll let you pick what you want to pick through this company, and then they're going to basically be the intermediaries from what I can see, which I think is pretty cool. That way you don't have to worry about it. The questions, are you going to get TIA? Probably not. Are you going to get USAA? Probably not. What's the other big mutual company? that does a lot of term life, State Farm. Anyway, so here's AIG. So 126 a month for how much we got. If we got to be $1,000,000. I don't even know if I put that in. Did I put that in? I can't remember. I don't think I put. I can't remember, to be honest. But anyway, 126 for a million. Guys, just remember, anytime you're doing for life insurance, it's such a commoditized product that literally 250 is going to be less expensive than 200,000. So you always want to do it in just these round numbers: 250, 500, 750, and a million. Anytime you're in the seven figures, it's going to usually take an EKG, a little bit more complex underwriting. So if you don't need $1,000,000, stay under the $1,000,000 thing. I mean, if you need $1,000,000, by all means get $1,000,000. I mean, that's for sure. If you don't need $1,000,000, you don't. I mean, just don't get $1,000,000 simply because it's a more intense underwriting. But remember, 250 is going to be less expensive, generally speaking, than 200 on term life insurance, just because it's commoditized. I mean, it's almost like an algorithm for these guys anymore. 250, 500, 750, and a million. You don't need to get 1.48 million in running these stupid insurance calculators that you have a life insurance need of $89 million. You're like, how did I get that? Well, because we want you to be able to pay for your kids to go to Harvard and have a fund and endowment. And you're like, nah, I just want to make sure my mortgage is paid off if I die and leave my wife with 2 years of income. Okay, I don't need $1.48 million. I need something nice, round, and simple. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Now here's whole life. They put that up there. That's kind of cool. They got a $1,000 a month whole life thing, and there you go. So whole life costs $500 typically, 5 times as much more, 4 to 5 times as much as more term, and that's 100% right. So look at that. So actually, let's click on it. I'm curious. Yeah, there you go. Let's see if they show that's whole life protective. So what? Okay. I see what they're saying. So you can click. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can click on the stuff you want to get a quote for. I'm 49, 48, 49. I don't need 30 years. I'll tell you that right now. I don't even need 25 years. For me, covered till I'm getting on Social Security. I'll be done. So 20 years is perfect. So 126, that's not bad. I think with HealthIQ, I got 1.5 million, if I'm not mistaken, as a 20-year term. That rings a bell to me, and I think I'm paying about that right there. I took that out 3 years ago, so this maybe I'm paying a little bit. To be honest, I can't remember. I got 1.5 million. Maybe I'm paying I'm paying about $1,300. Yeah, $1,350 a year. Yeah, $112. Yep, that's what I'm paying. So now the question is this quote giving me the preferred rate or just the standard rate? Because remember, standard is kind of like the smokers. All right, so you got. When I was at USAA, we had 5 underwriting classes. We had Preferred Ultra, which is essentially what I got now with HealthIQ. We call that the Superman rate because only about 10, 12, 15% of the people actually got the PUL. You had Preferred Plus, which is one step down. The difference between PUL and Preferred Plus was about twice the premium difference. Then you had Standard or Preferred. Then you had Preferred, that's what it was. So you had Preferred PUL, Preferred Plus, Preferred, and the difference between Preferred and Preferred PUL, Preferred Ultra, whatever PUL stood for, was like 3 times. So basically, if it costs you $100 for PUL, it costs you $200 for Preferred Plus, and I think it's like $250, $300 for Preferred. And then Standard was a smoking rate. That's what it was. Then you had Standard, and then you had whatever the other thing was under Standard. And Standard was the 4th of the 5 worst. That basically was like if you smoked. So now what would happen is a lot of these sales guys are suckers. What they do is they'll give you a quote. Oh, it's only going to cost you $100 a month, and they'll give these Preferred Ultra quotes, knowing full well that the likelihood of you qualifying for Preferred Ultra is pretty small. It's a bait and switch, no other way around. It's not just USA. All these guys do this, drives you up the wall. So basically saying, oh, if your Preferred Ultra is only $100 a month, and all they're trying to do is get you underwritten, because the time you take the time to go through underwriting is going to be when you're literally, by the time it takes to go through underwriting, you've already committed the time to it. So you say, well, if I can't get the full Preferred Ultra at $100, at least I'll take Preferred Plus at $200. It's that old sales tax on life insurance. It's frustrating because a lot of people say, man, you quoted me $100 a month, now it's come back $200 or even $300 a month. What's that about? You're like, well, you just didn't qualify like we anticipated. I never quoted a Preferred Ultra. I always quoted Preferred Plus or even Preferred, just because I never want. It's always overpromise or underpromise and overdeliver. That's the way it should be. And a lot of life insurance guys will overpromise and underdeliver, and that's not the way it should be. Anyway, I've always been a big fan of Protective, though. So a couple things here. When I was in a broker doing life insurance, Protective always had the best customer service I found. They're in the South in Birmingham, and I always liked them. I liked them. I had no qualm with AIG, but in terms of if I had my choice between the two, I'd take Protective all the time. I didn't do a whole lot of life insurance when I was a broker, but see, I just want to see. They're not really financial strength. I want to see. I want to see if it's converted. A lot's going on in this stuff here. You don't want to pick the lowest price to get started. No, that's not. I don't like that. We don't want to pick the lowest price to get started. And the reason I say that is because we got to find out if what kind of policies these are. So we got Pacific Life, Banner Life. Let's just show all. Lincoln. There's Principal. SBLI. They're pretty big up in Massachusetts, by the way. I forgot what it stands for, but we did a lot of life insurance for people in Massachusetts, SBLI. All right, so, okay, return of premium. I've never been a big fan of return of premium policies, and I can't tell if these are convertible or not. Convertible just means later on you can convert it to a whole life or a universal life if you want. Let's just do it. We'll see what it comes out to. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad pricing, man. I'm almost 50 years old. $1,500 for $1 million policy. That's not bad for 20 years. Don't do one of these refundable terms. Look at that. The difference is $6,100 a year. That's the opportunity cost of not having that money invested is just nuts. So don't do that return of premium. It doesn't make sense to me. All right. So let's see. I don't need to read details on that. Let's see. Let's learn more about the whole. I just want to see what the companies are. Multiple available companies for $12,000 a year. It's $1,000 a month. You're not going to do that, okay? People with higher income and unique financial planning. Yeah, okay, forget that. I do think there's a place for whole life. I don't understand the people who say, "Oh, life is a scam." I don't like that. But for a side note, we'll cross that bridge at some other point. So let's see. So I enter my name. This is where I want to see. All that's left is start your applications. That's pretty cool. It can't go up as you get older or if your rate is locked in once your policy goes in effect. See, this is why did I Lincoln? I wanted to I didn't choose Lincoln, did I? I don't want Lincoln. See, for some reason it's got I'll use it to contact. Yeah, so I don't want, I wish we could see a little bit more. Let's see if I can't go back. I'd like to know a little bit more about the policy, and you should too. And I didn't want Lincoln. That was weird. Why did I click on Lincoln? Okay, maybe I did click on Lincoln. I wanted Protective. There we go. All right, so let's go to Protective. All right, so they threw Lincoln up there against. Okay, there you go. Sweet. Okay, your rate gets locked in once you see, but it doesn't tell me anything about the policy. Yeah. Well, I'm still good with the underwriting. So remember a couple things. That doesn't bother me that much. I'd like to know if it's convertible. That's a big deal for me. Other things need to be learned as well. So I'm sure there's a way in here to kind of dive in deeper about the policy. You need to know more specifics. The convertible feature is big. If it's not convertible, I want to make sure it's convertible. And I didn't see if it gives me an option to choose convertible or not. Also, I'm not sure what this is underwriting at. Is that are they underwriting that as team underwriting experts to get the possible price? Okay, so are they? All right, well, that's interesting. Our team of underwriting experts work to get you the best possible price. Don't try to negotiate with life insurance companies on your own. Let us handle the work for you. That's kind of what HealthIQ did for me too, because there was a couple different companies. They didn't just wasn't just affiliate. It wasn't a captive agent. I like that. I actually like that a lot. So you're saying, look, they're going to get the stats, they're going to get the health, the EKGs and whatnot. They're going to then take this to the various companies like Protective and Lincoln and say, hey, this is what we got. Give us a quote. The only issue, and I don't know how else you get around this, is I don't know what they're giving initial quote based on. Is it based on their highest rating? I don't know. I tell you what, let's go back. Again, mean, I don't have a huge issue with that. If I need life insurance, I still do it. But I'd like to know, to be honest with you. Let's say I got sleep apnea. I want to just say that. All right, what was it before? Like $1,500, I think. So now we're gonna say I got sleep apnea. Okay, and I just want to see what it looks like different here. You got to be honest on the front end, man. If you're not honest on the front end, don't bother, because it's going to come back. We'll say 2016. Was your diagnosis mild? We'll say yes. I got CPAP right there. We'll say we'll say 02/2016. We'll say I got a CPAP. We'll say yes. I don't know. I'm just going to hit next there. And I don't think these guys are, I mean, they don't know in terms of, look, they don't know until they take your blood, until your urine sample. I mean, you might be freaking smoking dope. They have no idea. And so they're just going to give you a basic quote. I just wish they would say, hey, we're quoting you as the second of our fifth highest level or something like that. No insurance company does it. That's just my pet peeve, having been in the insurance industry and seeing how some of these people quote, knowing full well you're not going to get PUL. And I just drives you up the wall, because I think it's a bait and switch. I'm not saying these guys are doing that, but I do wish they'd give you a little bit more in terms of, hey, this is what we think. But they're kind of doing that here. And when you say you have sleep apnea, they're saying, look, here's your annual $1,600. That's not bad, man. I mean, the only thing I don't know about the policy, I just like to know if it's convertible. I'm sure it's on here someplace. Ask us anything free. So if you wanted to, we can even say, let's see, because let's leave a message and say, oops, I gotta put my email in there. I'm still gonna do it. Josh, I guess I can't. Can I change my email here? Oh yeah, sweet. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to fire off an email to him. So I sent an email asking if the term policies are convertible. Just remember, as you're going through life insurance, my friends, convertibility is a big deal. I'm telling. Why does it keep doing that? Let me just move this guy out of the way. There we go. Convertibility is a big deal. I'm just telling you right now. I know a lot of people say, but whole life or universal life is stupid. I cannot tell you how many people who have had underwriting issues with life insurance after they got term, and thus were able to use that term to convert a portion to a whole life or a universal life for a couple $100,000 because they were not able to get underwritten after they initially took out the initial term policy that they got. Does that make sense? They got a term life insurance policy, a very high underwriting, a PUL again, essentially. A couple years later, they're diagnosed with some kind of issue, whatever. Literally could be anything. They'll never be able to be underwritten for life insurance again, but they know they need some life insurance because they still have a debt. They still have whatever it is they want to make sure if they die, they leave something to their heirs, their husband, their wives, or something like that. And the only option that they have, because they have good cash flow, but when they die, that cash flow stops. The only option is to take some of that term that they have, convert it to a permanent policy, which is based on the underwriting they had when they took out the term. Yes. I mean, it's the perfect hedge. They're saying, look, you underwrote me when I was in great shape. Now I'm not in great shape. I'm in such bad shape I can't get life insurance. But because I have the convertibility feature, I can take a portion of that life insurance and move it to a permanent life insurance. Will be there for my permanent life at that higher underwriting class. And I mean, it's freaking wonderful. And then you're saying, so I know for a fact I have $250,000 that I have to pay for. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's cheap relative to what I could get on my own now, which is nothing. And on top of that, I know it's going to be there because I don't know when I'm going to die. But I know that 250 at the minimum will be there, and as long as I pay. And it even builds cash value. That's a big deal. I'm telling you, a lot of people discount the convertibility feature, and I wish it would not because it's huge, huge. If you're getting term life insurance and you don't have a convertibility feature, there's no reason to have it for sure. And like my man, I forgot the guy's name. He's pushing index universal life, which I'm not a big fan of, but his one video he did was freaking awesome. He talked about the suicide clause. Suicide clause is a pretty commonplace. You got 2 years. As long as you don't kill yourself within 2 years, the life insurance will pay out. what else was it? He was talking about something like the convertibility feature. You had to convert it within 3 years. I mean, that's nuts. We don't want 3 years within convertibility. We want to say you can convert this thing all the way up until the policy lapses or the 20-year term expires. At USAA, they used to say you can convert, if you had a 20-year term policy, you had 17 years until which you can convert it. So you had until the last 3 years of the contract before you convert it. I think now they've changed it all the way around. If you have 20-year term, you can convert it literally the last day of the 20th year for sure. But this guy's video was talking about, like, the suicide clause, the convertibility that you had to do within 3 years, a bunch of other stuff too. Like some of you even had to get underwritten for convertibility. I can't remember. I was like, dude, that's nuts. But it's a good video, and again, I'll put the link to the show notes. So that's PolicyGenius. So far, so good. I actually like what I see here. The only question I have is a convertible. Well, I emailed them, and I'm sure I guarantee I'll get an email from them tomorrow. I don't know what they're underwriting me as. That again doesn't bother me that much, simply because you're not going to know until you get it underwritten. Again, your height, weight. You got to go to a nurse. Nurse is probably going to come to your house. She'll shoot you up, take some blood, urine in a cup, make sure you're not smoking dope, height and weight and whatnot. And again, going over $1 million to do an EKG, which is good. And then you'll come back and say, look, man, yeah, you're in pretty good health or not. One of those two, and then you'll know for sure. So don't get too caught up in what the premiums are you're seeing here. And you can mess around with this. I like it, man. I like to be able to run some quotes. I think that's good stuff. All right, so let's go back to PolicyGenius. I guess I'll stop there. But they had all the other stuff too, long-term care. Maybe I'll do a couple other videos, long-term care and whatnot. So something to look at if you're looking for life insurance. Maybe give PolicyGenius a try. All right, we'll see you next time.